Good morning, students. Welcome back to the new session of biology. We are going to continue with our same chapter, and today's topic is food chain. What is food chain? Food chain is a sequence of transfer of matter and energy in the form of food from one organism to the next organism. So what is food chain? It is a sequence of transfer of matter and energy in the form of food from one organism to the next organism. Examples of food chain are number one, that is forest food chain, in which we are having grass, deer and lion. You have to construct the forest food chain in the same manner with the arrows in between, that the food is being transferred from grass to the deer and from deer to the lion. This is under the caption, under the heading, under the example of forest food chain. Next example is grassland food chain. We are starting again with the grass, followed by the grasshopper, then frog, eaten by snake, snake by hawk. In this way, the food in the form of energy is being transferred from grass to the grasshopper, grasshopper to the food, frog, frog to the snake, and snake to the hawk. Next is aquatic food chain, means water food chain, starting from algae. Another may be the phytoplankton, followed by zooplankton, then fish and eagle. It may be another fish-eating bird. So we are having the food chain starting from the algae, followed by zooplankton, fish and eagle. Next. So in the food chain, each step is grass to the deer, deer to the lion. They are being known as the trophic levels. What they are being known as? They are being known as the trophic levels. Producers, example grass, they are being known as your first trophic levels, followed by the herbivores, primary consumers, they are known as your second trophic levels. Similarly, the secondary consumers, that is your carnivores, and they are being labeled as the third trophic level. So what are trophic levels? Each step or level of food chain is known as trophic level, and therefore with the help of example we have shown over there, that is producers, the example is grass, they belong to the first trophic level. Then we are having the primary consumers, herbivores, example is deer, that is under the category of your second trophic level. Then we are having the secondary consumer, carnivores, example is lion, under the third trophic level. Next, energy flow. So these are the various features which we'll see, that how the energy is being transferring from one trophic level to the next trophic level. So the first is green plant in the land ecosystem capture about 1% of energy of sunlight that falls on their leaves and convert it into the food energy. Means the green plant, which are being known as the producers, they used to synthesize their food in the presence of sunlight, and that is by capturing the energy from the sunlight, that is only 1%. So green plant will capture only 1% of energy of sunlight that falls on their leaves, and that energy is converted into the food energy. And from green plants, that energy is going to be transferred in the form of food, which is dragged and lost major part of food energy as heat during the metabolic activities. So this means that plants will transfer the energy from one level to another level. But before transferring, plant itself is using the energy for its own metabolic activities. For example, for its respiration, for its digestion, for growth and the development of the plant. And after that, a very fraction ki बहुत कम energy will be stored as the biomass, and that will transfer to the next organism of the food chain. So first, green plants will trap the energy from the sunlight, that is only 1%. After trapping the energy, they will convert that energy into the food, which is utilized by the plants for their metabolic activities, and then a very small fraction of energy stored as the biomass. At each step of food chain, when food energy is transferred from one trophic to the next trophic level, only about 10% of energy is passed to the next trophic level. This is known as 10% law of energy. So with the help of example, I will again discuss what these three steps means. So have a look on this particular picture. You can see the progressive loss of energy in the food chain. So first, that is the sun, and sun is having 1000 joules of energy in the form of light energy, and plant will, that is the grass, will capture the energy that is only 1%. So how much energy is present in your grass now? That is producer, that is 10 joules. Sun is having 1000 and plant is having 10. So that is 1% of 1000. From the grass or from the producer, now energy will pass to the herbivorous, that is your primary consumer, and only 10% energy will pass from producer to the herbivorous, that is your primary consumer. So 10 joules, 10% is 1 joule. So 1 joule energy available as a food to the herbivorous or to the primary consumer. And now the 1 joule of energy from the primary consumer, and only 10% of 1 joule of energy is 0.1, which is available to the secondary consumer, or you can say that is the carnivorous. Sometimes the question comes, what will happen to the 90% of the energy? So that 90% of energy will go into the environment, and that will be there, which is utilized by the decomposers for dead and decaying matter, converting them into the simple inorganic substances, or that is being present in the environment as a heat. Is it clear? So once again, I am going to repeat that what that particular energy flow means. एक बार दोबारा से, sun से plant को सिर्फ 1% energy capture करनी है. So 1000 joule of energy, plant will have only 10 joules, that is 1%. Plant से energy will pass to the herbivorous, that is your primary consumer, सिर्फ 10%. तो 10 joules का 10% कितना होगा? 1 joule. From primary consumer, 10% will pass to the carnivorous, or you can say the secondary consumer, and the 10% of 1 joule is 0.1 joule. So 10% will pass from grass to the primary consumer to the secondary consumer, and so on. And only 1% will be captured by the producers from the sun. Next is, food chain should be limited to 3 to 4 trophic levels. Why? Because according to the 10% law, energy goes on decreasing as level goes on increasing. The question may come, why the food chain should be limited to 3 to 4 trophic level? because according to 10% law, energy goes on decreasing as the level goes on increasing. So we are going to again make you clear with the help of the example. In the first example, the food chain is having only three trophic levels. That is your grass, then primary consumer, then your secondary consumer. Producer, that is grass, is having 1000 joules of energy. 10% will pass, that is 100 joules. Next 10% pass, that is your 10 joule. So grass is having 1000 and your last trophic level will have 10 joule. So have a look on your second example. Second food chain consists of 5 trophic level: grass, grasshopper, frog, snake and hawk. Similarly, the grass is again having 1000 joule of energy. So second, that is your primary consumer, according to the 10% law, will have 100 joule. Frog will have 10 joule, again due to the 10% law. Then snake 1 joule and hawk will have 0.1 joule. So as the level goes on increasing, the energy goes on decreasing. So that's why each food chain should be limited to 3 to 4 trophic level, because as the level increases, the energy goes on decreasing. Next is from energy flow. It is clear that we have seen the number of the food chains, and again I am showing you the one more, that energy from sunlight passes to the producer, from producer to the herbivorous, from herbivorous to the carnivorous, and from carnivorous to the top carnivorous. So you can say they are the primary consumers, they are the secondary consumers, they are the tertiary consumers, and so on. Similarly, in this particular pyramid, you can see the producers, the number of producers is more as compared to the primary consumers, then to the secondary consumers, and to the top consumers. So that gives you the shape of pyramid. The base is having a greatest number of the organisms as compared to the top consumers. So what are the conclusion we are getting from it? The flow of energy is unidirectional. As I am showing you, unidirectional, that it always goes from producers to the herbivorous, herbivorous to the carnivorous, carnivorous to the top carnivorous. Means producers, they are the autotrophs. So when the energy passes from autotrophs to the herbivorous, it won't come back to the autotrophs. So the flow of energy is unidirectional. The energy that is captured by autotrophs does not revert back to the solar input, and which is passed to the herbivores does not come back to the autotrophs. There are generally greater number of individuals at the lower trophic level. So this is your first trophic level, this is your lower trophic level, and they are having a more number of individuals as compared to your top consumers. So the greatest number is of producers. So we are going to recap everything. That is food chain, that is the flow of energy in the form of food from one trophic level to the next organism, and each step, each level of the food chain is being known as the trophic levels, and each food chain should consist of only 3 to 4 trophic levels, because according to the 10% law, energy goes on decreasing as the level goes on increasing, and flow of energy is unidirectional. It goes from producers to the herbivorous, not from herbivorous to the producers. So these are some review questions related with the food chain. What percentage of energy available at the producer level is transferred at the successive trophic level in food chain? I think so you are now, it is easy to answer you people, that is 10%. What would happen if the number of carnivores decrease in the ecosystem? Carnivorous means that is your third trophic level. First is producers, followed by the herbivorous, then comes the carnivorous. तो क्वेश्चन है कि अगर कार्निवोरस का लेवल कम हो जाएगा तो इकोसिस्टम में क्या प्रॉब्लम आएगी? If the carnivorous will going to decrease, then the population of herbivorous is going to increase. And if the population of herbivorous is going to increase, then the producers are going to decrease because of the overgrazing. Because herbivorous सारे producers को खा जाएंगे. Producers कम हो जाएंगे, herbivorous ज़्यादा हो जाएंगे. क्यों हुआ? Because carnivorous की population कम हो गई. So what will be the final result? They are going to disturb the ecosystem. Energy flow in the food chain is unidirectional, that we have already discussed. Construct the food chain of the pond ecosystem matlab aquatic ecosystem. What is the difference between the food habits of organism belonging to the second and fourth trophic level? So organisms belonging to the second trophic level are primary consumer, means they are the herbivorous, so they eat plants. And the organism belonging to the fourth trophic level, they are the carnivorous. They eat flesh of the herbivorous. Give one example of the organism belonging to each of these. So second trophic level means herbivorous. The example is your goat. And the fourth one, it may be hawk, it may be lion, and so on. So this is the end of this topic. So all the students, you have to copy all these notes in your fair biology copy. Till then, goodbye. Thank you.